I want to get to our next big local case here, seeking the death penalty for Saul Bal. He's accused of shooting Phoenix police officer Zane Coolidge and Matthew Haney last September during a car burglary. Officer Coolidge died days later. Bal pled not guilty to murder charges and was indicted by a grand jury. He remains in jail on a $2 million cash-only bond, and now prosecutors, they want the death penalty. Here's what else Rachel Mitchell had to say about that case.
One of the things that I consider in making this decision include the following: the next of kin's thoughts on the death penalty. I also have a senior group of attorneys who meet and pore over the facts, the mitigation, the aggravation, and other relevant information and make a recommendation to me. I also rely on expert opinions that might be provided to me and, of course, the circumstances of the crime itself.
All right, so Hector, obviously there is a lot for Mitchell to weigh in, and ultimately it is up to her. So walk us through what exactly comes next. How does the prosecution pursue a death penalty case? Is it a new trial, a new jury, start over?
So essentially what happens is they file their notice, and then when it goes into the, let's call it the trial phase, you've got three parts. You've got the guilt phase, right, where the jury decides guilty or not guilty.
Right.
And if it's guilty, then you move it's immediately. It's the same jury. That same impaneled jury is sitting there. And then you have the aggravation phase where they're going to decide whether or not this individual is eligible for the death penalty.
Okay.
And then right after they need to find one aggravator in terms of there's certain factors you can look at, the nature of how the crime occurred, prior criminal history. There's all sorts of things that our county attorney was talking about there. And then lastly, they move into the penalty phase, which is to either impose a death penalty or natural life.
And does the judge decide that, or does the jury?
That's a great question. The jury decides that.
The jury does.
The jury does.
Okay.
In most circumstances. There's a few exceptions there where, say, they get to the penalty phase and that jury just cannot make, they're deadlocked or they can't make the decision. Then you have an issue. It's very unique where now maybe a new jury comes in to make that decision. And if that jury can't make it, then it could defer ultimately to the trial judge to make it. But it's very complicated, takes a lot of time, and we'll have to follow this case as it progresses.
Yeah, all right, interesting. Hector, thank you so much.